Good evening, everyone. Life has a way of testing us, sometimes gently, and sometimes with a force that feels unbearable. Strength isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about how we show up when life gets messy. It's about having the courage to embrace the struggle, the grace to learn from it, and the tenacity to move forward. Today, I want to talk about what it really means to stay strong no matter what. And spoiler alert, it's not about being perfect, never falling apart, or pretending everything's okay. It's about something far more profound and far more human. Here's the truth: staying strong isn't a solo act. It's about connection. It's about vulnerability. And it's about cultivating habits that ground us even when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. Let's explore 7 Keynote's principles, if you will, that can anchor us when life throws its hardest punches. Keynote 1: Own your story. Let me ask you something. When you think about your life story, do you embrace it or do you shy away from certain parts? So often we carry shame, regret, or guilt about our past moments we wish we could rewrite. But here's the truth: your story, every single piece of it, is the foundation of your strength. Owning your story starts with acknowledging it. That means accepting not just the highlight reel you share on social media, but also the messy, complicated, and imperfect moments. These are the moments that shape us, teach us, and make us who we are. When you own your story, you're saying, this is me, all of it. And I'm not defined by the worst thing that's happened to me, nor the mistakes I've made. I'm defined by how I rise from them. It's not easy to face the hard parts of your story. Maybe there's pain, loss, or failure that feels too raw to confront. But when you avoid your story, it doesn't go away, it follows you. It shows up in your relationships, your choices, and the way you see yourself. When you deny your story, you also deny the lessons it has to offer. Owning your story isn't about excusing mistakes or glossing over pain. It's about understanding it. It's about looking at your journey with compassion and asking, what did this teach me? How did this shape me? What kind of person do I want to become because of it? Strength comes from knowing your story has power. Maybe you've endured hardships you wouldn't wish on anyone. Maybe you faced failures that shook your confidence. And yet you're here, still standing, still trying. That's strength. Think about it: the most inspiring people we know, the ones who seem unshakable, didn't get there by skating through life unscathed. They got there because they faced their stories head on. They took ownership of their struggles and used them as stepping stones to growth. When you own your story, you also take back control. You're no longer a victim of circumstances or other people's opinions. You're the author. You decide how the story moves forward. It's not about erasing the past. It's about rewriting the narrative from a place of strength, resilience, and hope. And let's not forget, owning your story isn't just for you. When you're brave enough to share it, you create connection. You let others know they're not alone in their struggles. Your story becomes a bridge to understanding, empathy, and collective strength. So today, I challenge you: own your story. The good, the bad, the beautiful, and the messy. Wear it like a badge of honor, because it's proof that you've lived, learned, and grown. And remember, the chapters ahead are still unwritten, waiting for you to fill them with courage and purpose. Keynote 2: Embrace vulnerability. What comes to mind when you hear the word vulnerability? For many, it feels like weakness, like an open invitation to pain, rejection, or failure. But here's the truth: vulnerability is not weakness. In fact, it's one of the most powerful acts of courage we can ever practice. Let's talk about what vulnerability really means. Vulnerability is the willingness to show up, be seen, and let others see the real you. It's about taking emotional risks, being honest about how you feel, and sharing your struggles even when there's no guarantee of a positive outcome. Vulnerability asks us to let go of the masks we wear, the ones that say, I've got it all figured out, I don't need anyone, or nothing ever bothers me. Here's the paradox: the more we try to shield ourselves from vulnerability, the weaker we actually become. Think about it: when you put up walls to protect yourself from pain, you also block out love, connection, and growth. You stay stuck in a place of isolation, carrying burdens you were never meant to bear alone. Embracing vulnerability is about giving yourself permission to feel joy, fear, love, heartbreak, and everything in between. It's about acknowledging that it's okay not to have all the answers and that asking for help is a sign of strength, not failure. One of the biggest myths about staying strong is that it means never falling apart. But the strongest people are the ones who allow themselves to be vulnerable. They cry when they're hurting, they admit when they're scared, and they ask for support when they need it. Vulnerability doesn't make them less strong, it makes them more resilient. Why? Because they're not wasting energy pretending to be something they're not. They're using that energy to heal, grow, and connect. Now, let's be real, embracing vulnerability isn't easy. At Keynote 3, build a support system. Strength isn't something we cultivate in isolation. No matter how resilient, determined, or self-sufficient we may believe we are, the truth is, we all need support. Life's toughest challenges are not meant to be faced alone. Building a support system is not a sign of weakness, it's a testament to your strength and wisdom. So what does a support system look like? It's the network of people in your life who uplift you, challenge you, and hold space for you. They are the ones who celebrate your victories and stand by you during your struggles. They don't have to solve your problems sometimes. Their presence and understanding are all you need. Building a support system starts with identifying the people you trust. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection. These are the people who listen without judgment, who offer kindness and encouragement, and who make you feel safe to be your authentic self. They may be family members, friends, mentors, colleagues, or even a professional like a therapist or coach. But here's the thing, support systems don't just happen, they're built. That requires intention, effort, and reciprocity. You can't expect deep, meaningful relationships to form if you don't invest in them. This means showing up for others as much as you hope they'll show up for you. Be the kind of friend, partner, or ally you wish to have in your corner. It's also important to recognize that different people in your support system may play different roles. Some are the empathetic listeners, the ones who provide emotional comfort when you're struggling. Others may be the problem solvers, offering advice or resources to help you navigate challenges. Some are your motivators, cheering you on and pushing you to achieve your goals. And some may simply bring joy and laughter, reminding you not to take life too seriously. Your support system should be a two-way street. It's not just about leaning on others, it's also about being there for them. Relationships thrive on mutual care and understanding. When you support others in their time of need, you strengthen the bond between you, creating a foundation of trust that will endure through life's ups and downs. Now let's address a common barrier, the fear of asking for help. Many of us hesitate to reach out because we worry we'll be a burden or that others might judge us. But think about the last time someone asked you for help. Did you judge them? Or did you keynote for practice self-compassion? Let me ask you this, how do you talk to yourself when things go wrong? When you make a mistake, face a setback, or fall short of your expectations, what kind of voice do you hear in your head? If you're like most people, it's probably not the kindest or most supportive voice. We're often our harshest critics. We replay our mistakes, dwell on our perceived shortcomings, and hold ourselves to impossible standards of perfection. But here's the thing, strength doesn't come from tearing yourself down. It comes from building yourself up, and that starts with self-compassion. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you'd offer a close friend. Imagine for a moment that your best friend is struggling. They come to you in tears, feeling defeated and overwhelmed. Would you say, "You're such a failure," or "You should have done better"? Of course not. You'd offer them empathy, encouragement, and reassurance. So why do we struggle to do the same for ourselves? Practicing self-compassion means learning to be your own best friend. It's about acknowledging your humanity and accepting that you're not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, to struggle, and to feel uncertain. These experiences don't make you weak, they make you human. Self-compassion involves 3 key elements. 1, self-kindness. This is about being gentle with yourself, especially when you're hurting. Instead of criticizing yourself for not meeting expectations, try offering yourself words of comfort and encouragement. It's okay to say, "This is hard, but I'm doing the best I can." 2. Common humanity. When we're struggling, it's easy to feel isolated, as though we're the only ones going through it. But pain and failure are universal experiences. Reminding yourself that you're not alone, that everyone's struggles, can help you feel more connected and less ashamed. The mindfulness, self-compassion, requires being present with your emotions without judgment. It's about noticing how you feel, whether it's sadness, frustration, or fear, without suppressing or exaggerating those emotions. Mindfulness allows you to sit with your feelings and respond to them with care. One of the biggest myths about self-compassion is that it's indulgent or lazy. People worry that if they go easy on themselves, they'll lose their drive or motivation. But research shows the opposite is true. When you practice self-compassion, you're more likely to bounce back from setbacks, take risks, and pursue your goals. Why? Because you're creating a foundation of self-worth that isn't tied to external achievements. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're learning a new skill, let's say playing the piano. If you berate yourself every time you hit a wrong note, you're going to feel frustrated, discouraged, and tempted to give up. But if you approach yourself with patience and kindness, acknowledging that mistakes are part of learning, you'll be more likely to persevere. Self-comp. When life feels overwhelming, gratitude can seem like a lofty concept, something distant and impractical when you're just trying to make it through the day. But leaning into gratitude isn't about ignoring your struggles or pretending everything is okay. It's about shifting your focus and finding strength in the things that are going right. Even in the midst of chaos, gratitude isn't just an emotional state, it's a practice. It's a habit of noticing and appreciating the good in your life, no matter how small or fleeting it might be. When you cultivate gratitude, you create a buffer against negativity and open yourself to greater resilience, connection, and joy. Let's start with what gratitude isn't. It's not toxic positivity. It doesn't ask you to deny your pain or dismiss your challenges. In fact, gratitude becomes most powerful when it coexists with difficulty. It says, yes, this is hard. And still, there are things to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, but it provides a perspective that helps you endure it. Gratitude shifts the way your brain perceives the world. When you consciously practice gratitude, you train your mind to notice the positive rather than fixating on the negative. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means not letting them overshadow the good. It's like adjusting the lens on a camera to bring the beauty into focus, even if the backdrop is messy. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that gratitude improves mental health, reduces stress, and even enhances physical well-being. People who practice gratitude consistently report higher levels of happiness and stronger relationships. It's not magic, it's the result of intentionally fostering a mindset that finds value in what's already present. Start small. Begin each day by naming one thing you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be profound. It could be your morning coffee, the sunlight streaming through the window, or the laughter of a loved one. Small moments of gratitude add up over time. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for at the end of each day. This practice helps you reflect on the positives, even on tough days. Over time, it creates a record of blessings that you can revisit when you need encouragement. Express gratitude to others. Take the time to thank someone who has made a difference in your life. Whether it's a heartfelt note, a text, or a simple thank you, expressing gratitude strengthens relationships and reminds you of the support around you. Reframe challenges. Even in difficult situations, there's often something to be grateful for. Maybe a challenge taught you a valuable lesson, brought unexpected opportunities, or revealed the strength you didn't know you had. Gratitude helps you find meaning in the struggle. Pause and savor the moment. Life moves fast, and it's easy to overlook the good things happening right now. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and fully appreciate what's in front of you, whether it's a kind word, a beautiful view, or a moment of peace. Leaning into gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the storms in your life. It means anchoring yourself to the things that keep you steady. When you focus on what you're grateful for, You remind yourself that even in the hardest times, there's light. Gratitude doesn't diminish your pain, it gives you the courage to face it. On with hope.boundaries. Just the word can make some of us feel uncomfortable. Why? Because setting boundaries often feels like saying no to others, and many of us have been conditioned to believe that saying no is selfish, rude, or even unkind. But here's the truth: boundaries aren't about keeping people out, they're about protecting what matters most, including your energy, time, and well-being. Let's start with what boundaries are. At their core, boundaries are guidelines you create to define what's acceptable and what isn't in your relationships, your commitments, and your life. They're not walls to isolate yourself, they're bridges to healthier connections. Boundaries help you honor your needs while maintaining respect for others. Now, why are boundaries so essential to staying strong? Without boundaries, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, depleted, or even resentful. Imagine trying to pour water into a cup. With no bottom, it doesn't matter how much you pour, the cup will never fill. That's what life feels like without boundaries. You give, and eventually you have nothing left for yourself. The importance of boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about enabling you to show up fully and authentically for the people and things that truly matter. When you set clear limits, you're prioritizing your mental, emotional, and physical health. You're saying, this is what I need to thrive, and I'm worthy of protecting it. Healthy boundaries allow you to. Conserve energy. Without boundaries, you risk burnout by constantly saying yes to others' demands. Boundaries give you the space to recharge. Foster respect. When you communicate your limits, you teach others how to treat you with respect, and you learn to respect yourself. Strengthen relationships. Contrary to what some may believe, boundaries don't push people away. They create clarity and mutual understanding, which strengthen connections. Focus on what matters. Boundaries help you prioritize your time and energy, ensuring that you're investing in the people, activities, and goals that align with your values. How to set boundaries. Setting boundaries can feel daunting, especially if you're not used to it, but like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Here are some steps to get started. Identify your limits. Pay attention to when you feel stressed, resentful, or exhausted. These feelings often signal a boundary that's been crossed. Reflect on what's most important to you and where you need to draw the line. Communicate clearly. Boundaries only work if they're communicated. Be direct, kind, and specific. For example, instead of saying, I'm too busy, you could say, I can't take on another project right now, but I'd love to help when I have more availability. Learn to say no. Saying no can be uncomfortable, but it's an essential part of boundary setting. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your priorities, you're saying yes to something that does. Stick to your boundaries. Once you set a boundary, it's crucial to uphold it. People may push back, especially if they're used to you always saying yes. Stay firm and remind yourself why the boundary is important. Growth is one of the most powerful tools for staying strong, no matter what life throws at you. It's the belief that challenges don't define you, they refine you. Believing in growth means seeing every obstacle, mistake, or failure as an opportunity to learn and evolve. It's about understanding that you are not a static being, but a constantly changing, improving, and adapting. Keynote 7, Believe in Growth. Growth is one of the most powerful tools for staying strong, no matter what life throws at you. It's the belief that challenges don't define you, they refine you. Believing in growth means seeing every obstacle, mistake, or failure as an opportunity to learn and evolve. It's about understanding that you are not a static being, but a constantly changing, improving, and adapting individual. Believing in growth starts with adopting a growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and resilience are not fixed. They can be developed through effort, persistence, and learning. It's the mindset that says, I may not be there yet, but I can get there. Contrast this with a fixed mindset, which tells you that your abilities are set in stone. I'm not good at this. And I never will be. A fixed mindset keeps you stuck, afraid to try for fear of failing. But a growth mindset frees you to see failure as feedback, as part of the process of becoming stronger and more capable. When you believe in growth, You no longer see setbacks as the end of the story. Instead, you see them as chapters in a bigger narrative, chapters that teach you resilience, creativity, and patience. Growth gives you the courage to keep going because you trust that every step, even the hard ones, is leading you somewhere worthwhile. Think of a tree. During a storm, its branches might bend and it may lose a few leaves. But the roots grow deeper, and over time, the tree becomes stronger. You are the same. The storms in your life are not there to break you. They are there to help you grow stronger roots. 1. Reframe challenges when you encounter a difficulty. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Instead of seeing challenges as threats, view them as opportunities for growth. 2. Embrace failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey to success. Every mistake you make is a lesson. The key is not to avoid failure, but to learn from it and keep moving forward. 3. Celebrate effort, not just results. Growth isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. Celebrate the fact that you tried, even if you didn't succeed. Effort is what leads to progress, and progress is what leads to growth. 4. Stay curious. Growth thrives in curiosity. When you stay open to new ideas, perspectives, and experiences, you give yourself the chance to expand beyond your current limitations. Ask questions, seek knowledge, and never stop learning. 5. Surround yourself with growth-oriented people. The people around you influence your mindset. Surround yourself with individuals who believe in growth, who challenge you to be better, and who support you through the ups and downs of your journey. 6. Practice self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your experiences. What went well? What didn't? What could you do differently next time? Reflection turns experiences into lessons and lessons and lessons into growth. One of the most empowering words in the language of growth is yet. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I can't do this yet. That small shift in language reminds you that your current abilities are not permanent. You're always evolving, always improving, and always moving closer to your potential. Believing in growth doesn't mean expecting yourself to be perfect. Growth is not a straight line, it's a winding path with detours, pauses, and setbacks. The important thing is to keep moving forward, even if progress feels slow. And remember, growth isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become. Every challenge you overcome, every fear you face, and every effort you make shapes you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. Believing in growth is a choice to see yourself as capable of more. It's the belief that you're not defined by where you are now, but by where you're willing to go. When you trust in your ability to grow, you unlock a strength that no obstacle can take away. Because growth isn't just something you do, it's something you are. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep believing in the incredible person you're becoming. Individual. Ending of the speech, how to stay strong no matter what. As we bring this journey to a close, I want to remind you of something truly important. Strength is not about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. It's not about being invulnerable or having all the answers. It's about owning your story, embracing your humanity, and choosing growth even when the road feels uncertain. Staying strong doesn't mean you have to face everything alone. It means building connections, leaning on others, and knowing when to ask for help. It means setting boundaries to protect your energy and practicing self-compassion when life feels overwhelming. It means finding gratitude in the small moments and believing in your capacity to grow no matter what challenges come your way. So as you leave here today, take with you this truth: you are stronger than you know. You have everything within you to navigate life's storms, not because you'll never feel fear or pain, but because you have the courage to show up anyway. And remember, strength isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's in the daily choice to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep believing in yourself. You are a work in progress, and that's a beautiful thing. Go forward with this knowledge, and no matter what life brings, stay rooted in your strength. You've got this. Thank you.